Before we begin, subscribe and tell us in the comments where you're watching from, because this story will change how you see a quiet maid. You'll serve me on your knees. The words sliced through the ballroom as the orchestra stopped. 300 guests turned toward the center aisle. Amara Cole, a black maid, stood beside a serving cart. Across from her, billionaire Adrian Vale's fiancée, Bianca pointed toward the marble floor. "Kneel," Bianca repeated. "And apologize for embarrassing me." Amara did not move. The evening was supposed to celebrate Bianca's charity foundation. Instead, she had turned it into a public trial. Adrian stood. "You spilled wine on my dress," Bianca said. "You knocked the tray from my hand." They had seen Bianca strike the cart with her heel as red wine splashed across her gown. But no one wanted to challenge the woman marrying Adrian in 6 days. "I said kneel." Amara looked at the microphone on the podium. Then she looked back at Bianca. "No." A ripple of shock moved through the room. "You seem confused about your position," Bianca said. "I know exactly where I stand. You stand in my future home, wearing a uniform paid for by my future husband. I stand in Mr. Vale's hotel, doing my job." Bianca's eyes hardened. "Security." 2 guards approached. Amara reached the microphone first. The speakers gave a burst of static. Adrian turned. "My name is Amara Cole," she said. "I have worked for Vale Hospitality for 7 years. Miss Roth ordered me to kneel because I refused to sign a false statement." Bianca went pale. "What statement?" Adrian asked. "One claiming I stole $50,000 from her charity office." Murmurs spread. "She did steal it," Bianca said. "We found the envelope in her locker." Adrian walked toward them. "Then why wasn't I informed? I wanted to handle it privately. You demanded she kneel before 300 people." Amara raised her phone. "The money was planted in my locker at 6:20. "How could you know that?" Bianca asked. "Because the person who planted it forgot the employee corridor has a mirrored service elevator." A paused video showed Bianca's assistant, Tessa Monroe, entering the locker room with a white envelope beneath a folder. "That proves nothing," Bianca said. "It proves your assistant entered a restricted area 13 minutes before security searched my locker." Tessa stood near the exit. When people turned toward her, she began moving. Adrian nodded to the guards. "Stop her." Tessa froze. Bianca stepped between Adrian and Amara. "You are letting a servant hijack my event." "No," Adrian said. "I'm listening to an employee you tried to silence." Bianca lowered her voice. "She is obsessed with you." Amara almost smiled. "That excuse again. You always find reasons to be near him." "I manage the executive floor. Being near executives is part of my job." Bianca reached into Amara's cart and pulled out a folded note. "Then explain this." Adrian recognized the paper. Bianca read aloud. "Amara, thank you for staying when everyone else left. I trust you more than anyone in this building." Guests exchanged looks. "Still just an employee?" Bianca asked. Adrian took the note. "My father wrote this 2 weeks before he died." Bianca's smile disappeared. Malcolm Vale had supposedly suffered a fatal heart attack inside the hotel penthouse 8 months earlier. Amara had been the last staff member to see him alive. "Where did you find it?" Adrian asked. "In her locker." "No," Amara said. "You found it inside the locked drawer in Mr. Malcolm's study." Adrian turned to Bianca. "You entered my father's private study?" "I was looking for evidence." "Of what?" Amara answered. "The missing amendment to his will." The ballroom erupted in whispers. "What amendment?" Adrian asked. She removed a small key from beneath her collar. "Your father gave me this the night he died. He said if anyone tried to destroy my reputation before your wedding, I should open the microphone case on this stage. Bianca looked toward the black equipment case beside the podium. Fear crossed her face. Adrian moved toward it. Bianca grabbed his arm. Don't. Why not? She's manipulating you. Amara placed the key in Adrian's palm. Open it yourself. He unlocked the case. Inside were a sealed legal envelope, a flash drive, and Malcolm Vale's signet ring. Across the envelope, in Malcolm's handwriting, were 6 words. For Adrian, before you marry Bianca Roth. Adrian broke the seal. Bianca snatched a champagne bottle and swung it toward Amara's head. Amara ducked. The bottle shattered against the podium. Guests screamed. Adrian caught Bianca's wrist, but she kicked the envelope beneath the stage curtain. At that moment, every light went out. When emergency lighting returned, Tessa was gone. So was the envelope. The flash drive remained in Adrian's hand. He inserted it into the ballroom computer. Malcolm's face appeared on the giant screen. If you are watching this, he said, Bianca has already tried to frame Amara. Bianca stopped struggling. And if my son still believes I died from a heart attack, then the woman beside him has succeeded in hiding my murder. The ballroom doors slammed shut. A red warning filled every screen. Building lockdown initiated. Then a second video feed opened. Tessa stood inside the hotel vault, holding the missing will amendment over a flame. Beside her, tied to a chair, was Adrian's younger sister. Adrian's younger sister struggled against the ropes as flames licked the corner of the will amendment in Tessa's hand. Open the vault, Adrian ordered. The hotel security chief shook his head. The lockdown sealed every internal door. Someone used executive authorization. Bianca stopped fighting Adrian's grip. Tessa doesn't have that access. Amara looked at the red warning across the ballroom screens. But you do. Bianca's face tightened. I didn't activate anything. Adrian stepped toward the control console. Override the lockdown. I can't. Then give me your code. Bianca said nothing. Amara moved closer to the screen showing the vault. Tessa held a lighter beneath the document, but the flame never fully touched the paper. She wants us focused on the amendment, Amara said. Adrian looked at her. What else is in that vault? Your father's private evidence archive. Amara continued. Malcolm kept duplicate records of every major hotel transaction. Vendor contracts, charity transfers, security logs. Adrian's expression changed. The $50,000 was probably taken from Bianca's foundation and moved through the hotel accounts. On screen, Tessa glanced toward the vault's rear wall. Amara noticed a digital timer reflected in the metal shelving. 6 minutes. There's an explosive device inside, she said. Panic erupted among the guests. Grant Ellis ordered everyone away from the doors. Adrian faced Bianca. If my sister dies, everyone here will know you refused to help. Bianca entered a 6-digit code into the console. Access denied. She tried again. The screen displayed. Primary executive revoked. Bianca stared at it. Tessa changed my credentials. No, Amara said. Someone above her did. A voice entered the speakers. Correct. An older man appeared on the screen beside Tessa. Victor Roth, Bianca's father, wore a coat and gloves. Bianca whispered, Dad. Victor smiled. You were told to keep Adrian distracted until the merger documents were signed. You said no one would be hurt. I said the Vale family would become cooperative. Adrian stepped toward the camera. Release my sister. Sign control of the hotel group to Roth Capital, and I will consider it. Bianca stared at her father. You used my engagement. Victor's smile vanished. You were never capable of earning that family without my help. Amara watched Bianca's hands tremble. The timer dropped below 5 minutes. Tessa, Amara called toward the screen. He's leaving you inside the vault too. Tessa's eyes flicked toward Victor. He promised me a car through the service tunnel. There is no tunnel from that vault, Amara said. Only an emergency ventilation shaft too narrow for an adult. Tessa lowered the lighter. Victor turned toward her. Do not listen. Amara pressed harder. He erased your access, just as he erased Bianca's. Once the device goes off, you become the dead employee who stole the money and kidnapped Adrian's sister. Tessa's face drained of color. Victor reached for her. She swung the lighter at him and ran to the control panel. The camera shook as they struggled. Adrian's sister kicked the chair backward, knocking a metal cart into Victor's legs. Tessa slammed her palm against the emergency release. Nothing happened. Manual latch beneath the third shelf. Amara shouted. How do you know that? Grant asked. I cleaned the vault after the renovation. Tessa dropped to her knees and found the latch. The vault door opened 3 inches before the lockdown caught it. Grant ordered 4 guards to the service corridor. The ballroom doors remained sealed. Amara pointed toward the microphone case. Malcolm built this system. The signet ring may be an override key. Adrian pressed the ring into a circular indentation inside the case. The screens changed. A map appeared with one blue route leading from the ballroom to the vault. The stage floor unlocked. A hidden staircase opened beneath the podium. Adrian moved first, but Amara caught his arm. Victor expects you. My sister is down there. And he wants you angry enough to walk into a trap. Bianca stepped forward. I know how my father thinks. Amara looked at her. Then prove it. The 3 entered the passage with Grant behind them. At the vault level, smoke curled through the corridor. Tessa crawled through the narrow opening while Adrian's sister remained tied inside. Victor stood behind her, holding a knife against her throat. The timer showed 90 seconds. Sign the transfer, he said, or choose which woman dies first. Amara looked past him at the exposed device. Its wires ran not to the vault walls, but to the hotel's main support controls. The explosion would collapse the ballroom above 200 guests. Then Malcolm's flash drive began playing a second recording through Adrian's phone. Amara, his father's voice said, if Victor reaches the vault, do not trust my son's fiancée, even if she appears to betray her father. Bianca heard every word. And smiled. Bianca's smile lasted only a second. Then she stepped toward the explosive device. Your father always loved dramatic warnings, she said. Amara moved between her and the wires. What are you doing? Saving everyone. Malcolm's recording continued through Adrian's phone. Bianca knows the device cannot be disarmed from the vault. The real control is hidden inside the ballroom microphone system. Adrian looked toward the ceiling. 200 guests remained trapped above them. Victor tightened the knife against Adrian's sister's throat. You have 60 seconds. Bianca lifted both hands. He's lying to you. The microphone only activates the lockdown. Amara remembered the equipment case, the signet ring, and the blue route on the map. No. It also opened this passage. Bianca lunged toward Adrian's phone. Amara caught her wrist. Bianca tried to pull away, but Amara held firm. You wanted me kneeling because you needed me away from that microphone, Amara said. Victor laughed. She finally understands. Bianca's face hardened. You think this makes you clever? I think it makes your plan obvious. The timer showed 47 seconds. Grant aimed his weapon at Victor, but Adrian's sister blocked the shot. Amara studied the device. 4 wires entered the support controls, but a fifth cable ran behind the vault shelving. Where does that lead? Tessa, still crawling through the door opening, looked back. Old intercom line. Amara grabbed Adrian's phone. Malcolm used the microphone to record instructions. The same line may carry commands. Bianca shoved her. Amara hit the wall but kept the phone. Adrian caught Bianca before she reached the cable. Tell us the shutdown phrase. There isn't one. Victor's knife pressed closer. 25 seconds. Amara replayed Malcolm's first recording in her mind. He had said Bianca would frame her. He had left the signet ring. He trusted Amara to understand what Adrian might miss. She remembered the sentence written inside the microphone case beneath the ring. Truth does not kneel. Amara ran toward the wall intercom and pressed the transmit button. Truth does not kneel. Nothing happened. The timer reached 15 seconds. Bianca smiled again. Wrong voice. Amara turned toward Adrian. Your father built it for you. Adrian stepped to the intercom. Truth does not kneel. The timer stopped at 9 seconds. The vault lights changed from red to white. Victor's expression collapsed. Grant fired at the ceiling sprinkler pipe. Water exploded across the room. Victor flinched, and Adrian's sister drove her head backward into his face. The knife fell. Adrian tackled Victor while Grant pulled his sister away. Tessa crawled free. Bianca reached for the explosive device. Amara seized the loose fifth cable and ripped it from the wall. The ballroom lockdown released above them. But every screen suddenly displayed a transfer confirmation. Roth Capital ownership, 51%. Adrian stared. How? Bianca calmly straightened her dress. You stopped the explosion. You didn't stop the merger. Victor laughed from the floor. The emergency system required Adrian's voice print. When he spoke the phrase, he authorized the final transfer. Adrian looked at his phone. Malcolm's recording had ended. Bianca stepped beside her father. The warning was real. You should never have trusted me. Amara looked at the support control screen. The ownership transfer showed a timestamp from 3 minutes earlier. Before Adrian spoke. She's lying again. Bianca's confidence flickered. Amara pointed to the digital signature. That authorization came from Malcolm Vale. Adrian shook his head. My father is dead. Then someone used his identity tonight. Tessa whispered from beside the vault door. Victor kept another person inside the hotel. Victor shouted, "Be quiet." Grant pulled him upright. Who? Tessa looked at Adrian. Your father. Silence swallowed the corridor. Bianca backed toward the passage. Amara blocked her. You knew he was alive. Bianca reached inside her gown and pulled out a second signet ring. Then the old intercom crackled. Malcolm's voice came through live. Adrian, do not let them leave. I am beneath the ballroom, and Victor has been keeping me there for 8 months. A door opened at the end of the corridor. A gaunt man in a hospital gown stumbled into view, supported by a masked nurse. Adrian whispered, Dad? The nurse removed her mask. It was Amara's missing sister. Adrian stood frozen as the masked nurse stepped into the emergency light. Maya! Amara's missing sister lowered the mask completely. She looked thinner than Amara remembered, with bruises around one wrist and exhaustion carved beneath her eyes. I'm sorry, Maya whispered. I couldn't contact you. Amara crossed the corridor in 3 steps and pulled her into an embrace. 4 years, Maya had been listed as a runaway nurse who vanished after stealing controlled medication from a private clinic. Amara had searched shelters, hospitals, police records, and morgues. Now she understood. Victor Roth had erased Maya exactly as he had erased Malcolm. Adrian moved toward his father. Malcolm Vale looked barely able to stand. They kept me sedated beneath the ballroom, he said. Bianca needed everyone to believe I was dead so Victor could control the merger through Adrian. Bianca backed toward the hidden staircase. Grant raised his weapon. Don't move. She stopped. Victor laughed despite the blood on his face. You still don't understand. The transfer is complete. Arrest us, and Roth Capital owns the hotels by sunrise. Malcolm looked at the ownership screen. No. That transfer moved control into a temporary trust. Adrian turned. What trust? Malcolm pointed toward Amara. Hers. Silence filled the corridor. Amara released Maya slowly. Mine. The amendment Bianca stole named you emergency trustee if Adrian's leadership was compromised by fraud, coercion, or marriage manipulation. Bianca stared at Malcolm. You gave a Maid control of the Vale Empire? I gave control to the one person in my house who could not be bought. Amara looked at Adrian. I don't want your company. You don't have to keep it, Malcolm said. You only need to prevent Victor from taking it. A countdown appeared beneath the transfer notice. Trust acceptance required. 4 minutes. Victor's expression changed. Destroy the device. Bianca lunged toward the support console. Maya grabbed her from behind. Bianca drove an elbow into Maya's ribs and broke free, but Amara stepped into her path. You wanted me on my knees, Amara said. Now you need me away from this screen. Bianca swung at her. Amara blocked the strike, caught Bianca's arm, and turned her against the wall. She did not slap her. She did not humiliate her. She simply held her still while Grant secured her wrists. You don't get to decide what I become, Amara said. Adrian guided Malcolm toward the console. What does she have to do? Use the microphone network and state her acceptance before the entire building. Victor smiled. The microphone system is destroyed. Amara looked at the wall intercom. No. It's connected to every speaker. She pressed the transmit button. Static filled the corridor and echoed through the ballroom above. 200 guests heard her voice. My name is Amara Cole. I accept temporary trusteeship of Vale Hospitality for one purpose, to stop this company from being stolen and return control after an independent investigation. The countdown stopped. Transfer secured. Victor screamed and broke away from Grant. He rushed toward Amara. Adrian intercepted him. The two men crashed against the vault door. Victor reached for the fallen knife, but Malcolm struck the emergency release with his cane. The steel door swung closed between them. Victor's hand remained outside. He dropped the knife before the door sealed. Grant forced him to the floor and placed him in restraints. Above them, police entered the ballroom. The guests were evacuated safely. The explosive device was removed by a bomb unit, and the hidden medical chamber beneath the stage was photographed before anyone touched it. Maya gave investigators 8 months of records proving that Victor and Bianca had kept Malcolm alive, forged his death certificate, diverted hotel funds, and drugged him whenever he attempted to escape. Tessa surrendered the remaining documents in exchange for protection. Victor Roth was charged with kidnapping, attempted murder, fraud, extortion, and conspiracy. Bianca was charged with assaulting Amara, framing her for theft, participating in Malcolm's imprisonment, and attempting to seize the Vale Empire through a fraudulent marriage. Before officers led her away, Bianca turned toward Amara. You think holding his company makes you one of them? Amara looked at the handcuffs around Bianca's wrists. No. It means you failed to make me less than myself. 6 weeks later, the investigation cleared Adrian of involvement. Amara returned control of Vale Hospitality to him under one condition: an independent worker protection board would receive permanent authority over employee complaints, wages, and retaliation cases. Adrian agreed before she finished speaking. Malcolm publicly admitted that his secrecy had endangered everyone. He stepped away from the company and began recovering with Maya's medical support. Maya's false criminal record was erased. She and Amara rebuilt their relationship slowly, without pretending the stolen years could be repaired overnight. 3 months later, Amara entered the restored ballroom for the new Worker Protection Board's opening ceremony. No serving cart waited for her. No uniform covered her shoulders. She wore a dark blue dress and stood behind the same microphone Bianca had tried to keep from her. Adrian watched from the front row. After the ceremony, he approached without cameras or guests surrounding them. "The first time you took that microphone, I thought you were exposing Bianca," he said. "I was defending myself. I know that now." He offered her no position, money, or reward. "Would you have dinner with me?" Amara studied him. "As your former trustee? As the woman who taught me that silence from employees usually means leadership has failed." She smiled. "One dinner." Adrian nodded. Behind them, workers filled the ballroom with laughter instead of fear. Before leaving, Amara glanced at the marble floor where Bianca had demanded her apology. A small brass plaque now marked the spot. It read, "No employee will be required to surrender dignity to keep a job." Amara had refused to include her own name. The change mattered more than credit, and every worker who entered that room would know the rule forever. Bianca had ordered Amara to serve on her knees. Instead, Amara had stood before everyone, spoken the truth, saved 2 families, and forced an empire to listen.